I want to shift the focus back to you, right? I've known you for quite some time already, but I haven't actually asked you this question. Actually, how old are you? Because you look very young.
No, I just turned 35, so...
Yeah, you are younger
But
than me, bro. You're younger than me, bro, and you're the group CEO of the company.
No.
Ample of growth potential.
I mean, it's not easy to have that title.
Great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. And so when I had that opportunity, it was something that I was quite, of course, everyone will be happy. Oh, okay, you're going to become the CEO. Right? For me, it was like, I'm not a family member. I'm an outsider, a professional brought in to grow the company and all. In a normal scenario, you probably want to give your children or someone, to take over. But being an outsider, they valued the effort that I put in, and from doing even finance in the company to doing the operations to everything that I was doing, I was quite instrumental in bringing renewable energy and a few other projects and changing a bit of the culture in Tech Cycle. There was that potential to take over the role. So for that's why I'm quite grateful for that. It was not easy, and to get that at, as you said, a young age, right? Because it's been since 2019 that I was doing that role. So it's not an easy task. Learning curve was very steep.
Where were you before this?
Prior to this, I was in Ernst & Young. So I was an auditor. A sudden shift from being a chartered accountant to a waste guy. The learning curve there is steep as well. But here is like, imagine you're a finance guy suddenly going into, engineering side, operations. So it's something new. But was very interesting because I had the support of the team and all. And I never thought of leaving actually, Ernst & Young. So it was... To be honest, I even told my boss, I love audit. I was like, so excited with audit. People told me that, if you join audit, right, audit firms, it's real troublesome. You work late nights. So I basically took the challenge. So I'm not a person easily to give up. First of all, of course, a lot of people say that, it's an industry that not many Indians are there. It's a Chinese dominated. I was like, come on, not this kind of racism here. So I said, never mind. So I was like, let's give it a try. And wherever I go, I like to make changes for the better. So for instance, like in Ernst & Young, I was doing a lot of things like sports. So I felt, okay, let me change the culture because everyone's like, oh, you work late. Is there something else that, can be done, to make a bit more lively? So I started, when I was as a junior as well, started to send out emails to blast out to the whole of Ernst & Young, some of them, let's have games and slowly start sessions. And it became like a work-life kind of balance thing, which then turned out to be having like inter-department games kind of thing. So at least people look forward, it's not just work, and then you don't have anything to look forward at the end of the week or the day. So that was something that I liked it. But to come out from there was, also another opportunity that I had. And that one was quite a spiritual one. It was a priest that actually introduced me to this job, Tech Cycle.
Oh, really?
When I got the call, so he knew the MD back then, which Mr. Perry. I had no intention to leave actually because I was under, good mentors in Ernst & Young, and I was actually aiming for, probably being the youngest partner in Ernst & Young, and I was heading towards that, working on that stuff. But then I was just thinking, is this what I like to do? Then I realized I like to talk, I like to, meet people, I like to bring business. So even in Ernst & Young, I will always talk to the CFO, the CEOs, just see where else we can bring business, what else can I do, any other advisory job. So that were the things that I was actually working on. So I don't like to do just that. So when you're auditor, yeah, for the stat, do this, but I want to do something different. The same thing I applied in Tech Cycle. So where, although I joined in financial controller and all, but within a year, I even spoke to my chairman, can I do something else? Because I want to help to grow the business. I see the numbers. When you're an auditor, you see the numbers, but you don't know how the pain, the struggle to even get to that figures. So that's when my previous chairman gave me the opportunity. He said, go ahead, see where else you can improvise the company. So with that, I would say that it was not something that I thought I'll be in. And, every parent would say, make sure you study well, don't end up doing some sampah or whatever, no rubbish guy. And now I'm there. Too bad.
But you are a very highly paid rubbish guy.
Yeah, no, but it's just that. So then when everyone said this, I was like, not bad. I mean, I never thought of I will stay on so long. So in fact, I'm in the company for like 9 years plus, 10 year next year in July.
Oh, but you just now mentioned you joined the company in 2019.
No, I joined in 2014 actually.
Oh, 2014.
But I became CEO in 2019.
Ah, okay.
That was when things moved on and all. So, but when I came in here, basically the Tech Cycle, I didn't know I would stay on so long. One thing that one of my previous employer or partner, I would say, in Ernst & Young told me that you'll be hired, and she told me, you must promise me that you stay for 3 years. So I was like, okay, I'll do that for sure. Then when I left, I was almost 4 years plus, almost going to be my 5th year. So when I met that partner, she was also retiring at the same time. And I told her that, I'm leaving, but I fulfilled your minimum 3 years. And I said, I'll go out and I'll see how is this tax cycle. And of course, with any bosses, they would want you to stay on. I never had the heart to leave as well, but I thought something told me to leave. I'm not sure if you watched this Manifest, this series, but there was a calling to me. I felt like I have to leave. There's something there for me in tax cycle. And even my colleagues were like, are you sure you want to leave? Because it's a smallish listed company, and here Ernst & Young is a huge MNC. So I felt like wherever I go, right, I like being with the underdog and using that as potential to grow. That has been always my style, because I would like to use that team that is not so strong or powerful and then grow them together. So it's achievement to me and as well as the team.
So you like to be the big fish in a small pond?
Can say that. Yeah, so when this opportunity came, right, so what I looked was for the change of career. Of course, still finance, but it's a commercial industry, and how would I fit in? But what I saw was the potential to grow, and the company was profitable. That was the first thing I saw, and ESG. So although back then there was no ESG, but I saw that there was sustainability, this waste, taking care of environment, which will definitely be the in thing. And when I spoke to even all of my previous partners, and also they were like, I think it's a good company to go to. And coming back to even what I said about the partner, I met her before I left, and I told her I'll go out. If I'm not so happy, I'll come back to Ernst & Young. And she just told me one thing, Gary, you can go anywhere, and you can survive anywhere. Don't have the mindset that, I have Ernst & Young as a backup. Then you will always have, because I have Ernst & Young, if I fail here, I'll just go there.
Correct. Then you cincai
do. So he said, you must always think that is your last job, there's nothing else. And how I relate back is, for instance, I used to go for the gym and all. So I had a trainer, and he, they have this bar, you got to pull up. So he gave me a stool. So I used to stand on the stool and, pull up. So whenever I'm tired, I can't do it, I'll just rest on that stool. And what he did was, okay, come on, bro, just do it. You can do it, do. And he will just kick off the stool. And I will like, no, I can actually do it. I will keep doing. And he said, you saw that? What did you do? Because you felt like if you dropped, you would have broken your leg. And you did even more, no? So you actually can do it. Once you feel that you have a support base, you will not work hard. You will always be complacent, comfortable where you are. And that is what I wanted to break that thing. I don't want just happy where I am. My goal is to grow. Wherever I go is to grow the company and have the knowledge to learn and all. It's not always about money, and it's sometimes the knowledge that you have, over these years that I'm here, it's something that money can't buy. These are the knowledge that not many players have. It's a niche market. That is why a lot of our team members are very specialized in this kind of industry. But interesting journey, that from there to here, and to survive for so many years, even longer than in Ernst & Young. I didn't expect that.
What was the biggest change that you have brought to Tax Cycle when you became the CEO?
So basically what I saw was, typical accountant. So we started to look at KPIs, make sure that we have KPIs and set the bonuses, set the increments, so that people are, motivated to work even harder. So for example, if you know you're going to get a certain amount of bonus, and if you do this, you hit certain sales targets or whatever, then people would be working even harder. What happened was, which was a testimony of even the first board meeting that I had, even our board of directors was saying, I used to see all our guys crawling, but now they are running. So it's a good change. And what they told me was, please maintain the culture, because they had a direction, like an aim. So what am I going to do, to make or to hit the target? And to be honest, everyone's direction at the end is, if I got more money, it's good, can spend. So that's where we were looking at to help them to achieve something, and it's a win-win for the company. You do more sales, good for the company, and we give you more. So it's something that I think a lot of them have been quite happy, and thanks to even our previous owners where they were quite supportive to let me run, because back then I was 30, so I was like, okay, would you trust me and all. It's no, they let us run. And I would say that, whatever that I did, right, even the first board meeting till today, I would say it's not me alone, it's my team. So I just gave directions. I was just monitoring, where do we go and stuff. But they did the job. They did everything. And if I didn't have a good team, right, I wouldn't be here today, because people would have boycotted me and, things like that. So I will always say that, where I am today is contributed by everybody. It could be even you or everybody else, because sometimes people, right, you tend to say something, so I pick it up. It's like a food for thought. So I learned. So what I did was, even from the ground, I went down to the floor to learn, understand what's their pain and struggle. Then I brought it up to the board. So I made a slightly different culture where, staying late doesn't mean that, you're effective. For me, it's like, if you're even not in the office, but you can deliver, I'm fine. That's something that I feel worked well during the pandemic because, everyone was virtual. So it was a culture that we had to set during that time. So I would say my timing, right, when I came in 2019 as the CEO, in 2020 was pandemic. And imagine, it's like a struggle from, I'm trying to make changes and suddenly pandemic, everything's virtual, where we used to work late nights to get everyone intact. And then thankfully we had Zoom, we had Teams. So all that to get aligned with even our previous bosses, where everyone was so used to physical. And suddenly we have this virtual thing, which over time did, work well for everyone else. It was very focused discussions that we have. We actually work as a family. So that is why everyone is very close knit kind of a thing, which we feel that somehow our previous owners, right, we always say that, we don't know how our previous owners hire people, but somehow they get people who are like, all can gel well. And because we're all young.
Law of attraction, they attract the right people into
Yes,
the company.
exactly. And probably is also because of their wisdom, many years in the industry, so they know who to select.
So before we end the show, Gary, is there any last words that you want to share with us?
Yeah, if I may, so because we are in this business in ESG and all, so I just hope that people out there know that we are here, we are living here, and let's all make a difference by doing the right things. Let's take care of the environment and social governance, all of this there. Let's all work towards making this planet greener. And for all the people out there, think of the future, because it's not for us, it's going to be for future generations. So think of them where they would be affected by our actions. So let's not put that into, their expense and all. So let's help them,
This is the only planet that we
Yes,
live on,
correct.
right? So let's take good care of
Correct.
it. Well, thanks for your time, Gary. Thanks for your inspiring words to our audience. Hopefully next time we can get you back on the show, and that time, hopefully you give us more juicy updates about
Sure.
Tech Cycle.
Sure.
All the best
So,
to you.
thank you so much.
All
Same
right.
to you.
See you.
Yeah.
Ciao.